Hello, friends. So I thought I would share a conversation I had with a investor, really over, I think it was text. It might have been email. I think it was text, but it was very enlightening, and I sort of wanted to throw that topic out here. So the backstory of this particular situation is the investor is looking to buy a pride of ownership rental. They're actually doing it inside their IRA or 401k or their investment portfolio. So they're actually going to own it free and clear. And I guess they were at dinner or some family function, and he was sharing with a friend of his that he was doing this and going to be closing pretty soon, like tomorrow or the next day or something like that. And what happened next shocked him. Right, his friend basically went, or at least on my impression is, went on this rant about real estate investing and why would you do it, and this, that, and the other thing. And the crux of this individual's argument was real estate is illiquid. Why would you do something so illiquid? And this gave my potential buyer some buyer's remorse and tried to second guess himself. He worked through this himself, and he got to an answer that he was comfortable with, which we'll share in a minute. But basically, I wanted to talk about this notion that real estate investing is illiquid, right? The assets that you buy are illiquid. And first and foremost, yes. However, I don't see them being illiquid as bad. I have made far worse decisions at the spur of the moment with buying and selling things that are liquid. I can remember buying something on just a whim and losing tens of thousands of dollars. I could do the same thing with selling something too early or too late. Just because something is illiquid does not mean it's bad. The other thing to realize, if you follow what I talk about and what I preach and what I try to help people with, is I'm a buy and hold investor. And you've heard me say it many times. If you're following what I'm talking about, I want you to think in decades. I don't want you to think even in years, right? I want you to think potentially you're going to be holding this thing for 10 years. And yes, that means it's illiquid. But as I've shared many times on this channel, the only way that real estate investing really helps you is if you let time help you. Time helps mortgage pay down. In this case, he's going to own it free and clear. So in his case, time will help inflation, not only inflation in the asset, but also inflation in rent, right? Because he's doing this for cash flow for him and his wife. So, again, I would tell someone that comes up to me and says real estate's illiquid, I would say, yes, you're right. Thank you. That's why I want to do it. I don't want to be in and out of this thing. I don't want a yellow one today and a blue one tomorrow and a green one on Monday. That's not how this is. This is not stocks. This is not crypto. This is not options. This is not commodities. This is not that. This is thinking in decades. Then the other thing to think about, again, if you're following what I'm talking about, is how are you protected in this illiquid asset? Well, first, you're always buying below the affordability, right? Or the median, excuse me. You're always buying below the median. So if my market has a median of 250 or 260, and you're buying something under 190, you have a lot of protection there, because you can't even build houses now for that in many parts of the country. In addition to that, if your asset is producing, let's call it $1,600 in rent, and you own it free and clear, so you have no debt service, even if expenses are 40%, you're still putting away 60%. And then you have inflation over the years. And again, why are you doing this, right? So, again, you're buying below the median. You have, rent increases and inflation in rents. You have an asset that's been fully remodeled. So there's, yes, things can go wrong, and yes, things can surprise you. And I don't wish that on anybody, but as I've shared in our story, it can happen. Stuff breaks. Tenants disappoint you. So, I just thought it was really funny. Somebody thinks real estate investing is illiquid is a bad thing. I actually think real estate being illiquid is a good thing, because it forces you to decide up front. You don't go into real estate investing going, you know what, I'll take it, and then tomorrow I'll sell it, because you're going to suffer transaction costs. There's just lots of things you wouldn't do that. So make sure you're ready. Because when you are, and you're following what I'm talking about, I want you to think about in decades. Again, and then protect yourself, conservatively finance. 50% down, 30% down, own it free and clear. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, be conservative. Make sure the stuff is, remodeled. Don't buy cheap, because you've already shared the math with you on how cheap doesn't help. So in the end, just realize that some of your friends who really mean no harm often talk to you about something they've heard or experienced or read or even experienced themselves about real estate not being liquid. And, maybe the right answer is the exact reverse. Yes, I am buying an illiquid asset, so I'm protected by inflation. It goes up as the dollar depreciates. It's out of the stock market, so if we go through a collapse in the business cycle, I'm protected there. I bought below the median, where a lot more people can afford to pay rent. It's already been remodeled with 50 or 60 grand in repairs. So you're really de-risking the situation. So in the end, I thought I would share that because, again, real estate is illiquid, but real estate being illiquid is a very, very good thing. All right, everybody, let me know what you think. Leave a comment below and have a great day.